Hello, in this video we're going to explain the internet and how the internet works. So let's say we have a user in Sudan. They open a browser on their laptop and they type google.com. A message known as the get message is created on the laptop, and then it's forwarded to the home router, which is the first device closest to the router. The message is forwarded to the home router. The home router will send it to router 2, to router 3, to router 4, to router 5, and all these routers are owned by the ISP in that region, so by Sudatel. So then let's say router 5 is a Sudatel router, is going to pass on the message to router 6, which is a STC router. STC is Saudi Telecommunications, the ISP in Saudi Arabia. So router 5 will send the message to router 6, which is an STC router. Router 6 will forward it to router 7, router 8, router 9, router 10, and all these are STC routers. Router 10 will send the message to router 11. Router 11 may be an Ittisalat router. Ittisalat is the ISP in Emirates. So router 10 will send the message to router 11. Router 11 is an Ittisalat router. So router 11 is going to send the message to router 12, router 13, router 14, router 15, router 16, and all these can be Ittisalat routers. So now the message left the home user in Sudan, traveled across. So the home user in Sudan, they opened the browser, they typed google.com. The laptop created a get message. A get message is a request for the Google web page. They created a get message on the laptop. So the moment you open a browser, you type google.com, a get message is created on the laptop. And then it leaves the laptop and it goes to the home router, and then it's forwarded to the Sudatel network. So the message travels across the Sudatel network from a router to another, and then Sudatel passes the message to STC, Saudi Telecom, and then the message keeps traveling across the STC network from a router to another, and then the STC network passes on the message to the Ittisalat network, and the Ittisalat network again passes the message from a router to another, and then Ittisalat will send the message to British Telecom. So now the message arrives at the first British Telecom router. The first British Telecom router will send the message to the next router, to the next router, to the next router. So the message will also travel across the British Telecom network. Now, British Telecom is going to pass on the message to AT&T. And the message is going to travel from the first router on the AT&T network to the second router, to the third router, to the fourth router. The message keeps traveling. The same get message, the same request for the web page that originated on the laptop in Sudan is now traveling across the AT&T network. So the message will continue traveling across the AT&T network from a router to another, to another, to another, until the AT&T router passes on the message to the California Tel network. The California Tel network is the ISP in California. So now the message arrives at California and it's on the California Tel network, and the message is passed on from the first California Tel router to the second, to the third, to the fourth, and then the Google server will be connected to the California Tel router. So the California Tel router number 4 is connected to the Google server. So the California Tel router number 4 is going to send the message to the Google server. The Google server receives the message, will read the message. Okay, this is a get message. Someone is requesting the Google web page, which is stored locally on the server itself. The server will also know that this message was sourced in Sudan. So the server will know that the source address of that home user in Sudan was so-and-so. So once the server receives the get message, the server will read the message. The server will understand that someone is requesting the Google web page, which is stored on the server. And the server will also know that that page was requested in Sudan by that specific home user. So now the server have two options. The server may have the web page, the Google web page. So the server will send the Google web page to the first router, which is the California Tel router. California Tel router will send the message to the next California Tel router, to the next router, to the next router. Then the message is same process. Then the message is passed to the AT&T network from router to another to another. Then the message is passed on to the British Telecom network from router to another to another. Then the message is passed to the Ittisalat network from a router to another to another. Then the message is passed to the STC Saudi Telecom network from a router to another to another. Then the message is passed to the Sudatel network from a router to another to another. And then Sudatel network will forward the message to the home router, the web page to the home router, and then the home router will forward the web page to the home user, and that web page is displayed. So the home user will see the Google web page on their screen. So that's how you send a GET message all the way from Sudan. From the moment you open a browser, you type google.com. That's how you send the request for the Google web page all the way from Sudan until the Google server in California, and how the Google server will send the web page back from California to Sudan. So the home user in Sudan can have access to the Google web page. Now, if the server doesn't have the web page, the server will send a message. Instead of sending the web page, the server will send a message known as the 404 page not found. The server will send a message known as the 404 page not found message. So if the server doesn't have the page that the user in Sudan is requesting, the server will send a 404 message, and the same process, the 404 message is forwarded from the Google server to a router to another across the California Tel network, across the AT&T network, across the British Telecom network, across the Ittisalat network, across the Saudi Telecom network, across the Sudatel network, until the message arrives at the home user, or specifically until the message arrives at the laptop in Sudan, and then the user on that laptop in Sudan will see on their screen 404 page not found. So the process is, you open a browser, you type google.com, a request for a web page is created on the laptop. It travels across the internet until it reaches the server. The server will respond with the web page, or the server will respond with a 404 page not found. Thank you.